The AUG is really cool. I mean, look at it. You might think to yourself, wow, what a space-age looking gun. That must have come from the future. Yet it didn't. In fact, it's been in service since the 1970s. It was ahead of its time then, and it might still be today. The AUG, or AUG, is an acronym for Armee Universal Gewehr, or Universal Military Rifle in German. It was created by the Austrian arms manufacturer Styre in the early 1970s as a replacement for older 7.62x5.1 battle rifles that were in military service. The Austrians wanted to create a rifle that not only would replace the battle rifle, but revolutionize modern small arms. They wanted to make the most compact and lightweight possible service rifle for their troops. The stock was made from lightweight polymer, as well as the magazines. The rifle would also come with a built-in optic. Very impressive considering that at the time, even world-class militaries like the United States Army were still issuing rifles with only iron sights. Early AUGs would sport a 20-inch barrel, which was pretty standard at the time. By 1977, the AUG would be adopted into service by the Austrian military, but that would only be the first in a list of many wins for the platform. By the mid-90s, the AUG had been adopted by many militaries across the world, including Australia, New Zealand, Argentina, and Ireland. Malaysia liked the rifle so much that they bought tooling and started producing their own licensed copy in-country. The AUG not only looked advanced, but also was a very capable platform. The short-stroke piston with multiple gas settings allowed the rifle to function even in the worst conditions, and the quick-change barrel was ahead of other rifles at the time. In 1997, Styre would release the AUG A2, and the A3 would come shortly after that. The main difference between the A1 and A2 was the addition of a Picatinny rail where the optic used to be, and the A3 would add a bolt release, or bolt catch, depending who you ask. I can make an hour-long video talking about the different AUGs from around the world, but I'm going to be mostly talking about American gun market from here on out. The AUG was briefly imported as a semi-automatic sporting rifle until George Bush Sr.'s assault weapon import ban of 1989. The US government decided that the gun did not fit a sporting role. Styre briefly imported a thumbhole stock variant before ceasing all import altogether. This only added to the allure of the mysterious Austrian rifle in America. It wasn't until 2007 that we would get a taste of the AUG in the United States, and this would come with the US-produced MSAR clone. These rifles shared many parts with its across-the-sea cousin, but was made right here in the States. You still see these for sale from time to time, but they were never super popular. In 2009, Styre would begin importing the AUG A3 SA, or semi-auto, to the land of the free, and by 2013 they were manufacturing the AUG A3 M1 in Alabama. This reinvigorated the AUG market here in the States, and today that's kind of where we're at. The Styre AUG, very cool rifle. I think maybe a very misunderstood rifle, a very capable rifle. It's a rifle that, at least in the United States, kind of has this mystery around it, this exoticness, right? Like, it's a bullpup. We just don't see that over here, right? If we use normal people guns in the United States. But it's like, I think just from the very beginning, right? Just in its media portrayal, right? Like Die Hard, we've all seen Die Hard. That's super cool. The German terrorist, he has an AUG with the 20-inch barrel. Running Man, right? Great Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. He has an AUG at the end. I think in RoboCop, they're all with the AUGs. Video game-wise, Battlefield 3 had an AUG. Battlefield 4 had an AUG. Black Ops 1, despite taking place in 1968, has an AUG. Fantastic gun, right? Modern Warfare 2, the good one, had an AUG. That was the 24-inch barrel AUG, right? The new Modern Warfare probably has an AUG, right? Everybody who has seen movies or played video games has this like image of the AUG in their head. Like it's so weird, right? It loads from the rear, how goofy. It's so short. I'd like to say it's lightweight, but it is kind of chunky actually. I think this setup is as heavy or heavier than my AR with a suppressor. But like it is this unique rifle. And the fact that they were banned from import for so many years just added to that. The AUG has a super cool community in the US. Reddit has a couple of AUG communities. I mean, people go crazy for these AUGs. People 3D print parts for these AUGs. People manufacture stuff like Manticore Arms. I've got the Manticore Arms scope mount. Completely recommend it. I think it's just a guy who lives somewhere on the East Coast who makes these on his milling machine. And they're fantastic. They're kind of expensive, but people go crazy for the AUG. This is an A3M1, so it was actually made in Alabama, or at least the receiver was. But really just a super cool rifle. This is something that you never take it to the range, and like whenever you take it, people want to shoot it. Just people will come up to you. This and the MP5. I think the last time I went shooting in Alaska, me and my buddy, he has a white AUG, it's the Stormtrooper AUG, and then I had this out there, and we were shooting both of them. We had a guy come up and talk to us for probably 20 minutes. I mean, you can't bring two AUGs to the shooting range and not get a whole crowd of people asking, like, hey, like, what is this, right? And the other thing is the features, right? So it's a very comfortable rifle to shoot, like one-handed. Look at that. The weight is all back here, so you can easily fire from this position if you had to. You have a little collapsible deal up here, right? So if you're getting in a vehicle, it's down. You're out, you're out. Super cool feature. Charge handle is up front, and last round bolt hold open. Out with this. This is a 42 round mag. Boom. You got your 30. Rock that. Rolling. Right? Last round. Magazine out. Magazine in. Rolling. I mean, it's almost as quick as an AR-15, right? I mean, it's a lot faster and more intuitive than any AK platform I've ever shot. The magazine's super reliable. Because you don't have weird third-party aftermarket magazines, you end up with actual good magazines. They're expensive, right? I think they're like 30 bucks, 25 or 30 bucks a mag. But really, I mean, is 25 bucks that crazy for like a decent magazine? I don't know. They're lightweight. You always know how much ammo you have on hand. This is an American-made MSAR mag. I got this at a gun show. I'm retarded, so I paid like 30 bucks for it, or 35 bucks, but isn't that cool? This is made in like 2008 when the AUGs were still not really being imported. And you can see it's like a different kind of plastic. I think it looks cool. It says MSAR on it. United States of America, MSAR. Got a little logo on there. But really just a terrific rifle. You have the quick change barrel. Super cool feature, and it holds 0, right? This is like a 2 MOA rifle. The barrel gets hot, you swap it out with another one, and then you still have 0. Like, that's wild. You're not getting that with an AR or an AK. Obviously, there's one very large problem with the AUG, and that's the fact that, like, this, as it sits with the optic, has got to be like a $3,500 rifle. And it's like, wow. All right, this cost one Miata. In my AR over there, I paid like 400 bucks or something for it. Parts kit AR. So in that respect, like, the AR is hard to beat, and I can't really recommend the AUG to anybody on a huge budget. Stuff's kind of proprietary for it. The magazine is, or the trigger's pretty awful. I mean, I don't mind it that much, but if you're a competitive shooter, like, it is a bad trigger. But overall, I think the AUG, I think maybe more people should have AUGs. I think they're a super cool little rifle. I think they're fantastic to shoot. They're fantastically accurate. And if price wasn't a concern, right, I would recommend everybody go out and get an AUG, but they do cost a whole Miata. So I think for about $2,000, you can get into an AUG. So that's like 4 or 5 Palmetto State AR-15s. And then you're looking for proprietary mags. You can get this. You can get a NATO version of this rifle. The NATO AUG takes normal Stanig AR-15 magazines. And Magpul also makes, for the Australian military, the Australian pattern PMag. And it'll go right in here. You can get them. Look them up. Magpul's website sells them to the American consumer. So that's kind of cool. You can get windowed Gen 3 PMags, because Australia's been using this since 1988, right? They still use it. So overall, great weapon. Wish they were cheaper. Everyone should go out and definitely shoot one. At the very least, go make friends with somebody with an AUG and just try it out sometime. It's a super fun rifle, and you will not regret the AUG.
All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you like it, and if you didn't, then don't. Leave a comment, positive or negative. My M14 video got some flack. Hopefully the AUG video, people will be more pleased. I have a positive opinion on the AUG. Obviously the AR is still like the best weapon ever made, probably best weapon system. But the AUG is cool. I made a teaser for this and put it on TikTok, and it got removed for violating terms of service. So, you know, TikTok, that's cringe, right? But yeah, like the video, comment, subscribe. Keep on keeping on.